Hi, I'm D.Treger, and I'd like to invite you to join me in making one of these. Quite nice, quite special. I started making these at the one of the music festivals, waiting for a band or something like that. I previously tried this with meadow grass and found it to be quite becoming, and I sought more durable, pliable materials and found these. This is soft rush. It's a relation of bulrush, and it does the job perfectly well. There are other materials that can be used. For example, ribwort is also, I've found, is also to be both durable and pliable. So the first thing we want to do is get 3 of these, and 2 facing upwards, perhaps south, and a 3rd facing north, we could describe it. Take a pair of scissors and just clip the ends, get them nice and even, and about 1.5 inches down, make a fold and turn them over so that you've got a loop at the top there. And with a 4th strand of soft rush, poke that through the loop like so, and maintain so that it maintains that loop at the top. And starting off at the top here, start to plait, keeping the strands parallel, because there are 6 of them now, having doubled them up. Loop them over and keep them parallel and even, and keep the plait kind of tight. Like I say, hopefully you can see that they are being doubled over. One more, you might have to battle them a bit and bend them around a bit. Now at this point we're going to incorporate a 5th strand, so that we can get quite a nice shape going on. So just into the weave there, place it on top and incorporate it into the plait. So start turning over again the plait, keeping things parallel and as tight as possible. This soft brush starts off a very emerald kind of colour, as you can see, but as they dry out they go gold, and when they dry they go a bit twig-like. So the trick is to hydrate them, keep them hydrated, and eventually they'll go like a same consistency as a wicker basket or something like that. So here we are. That's better, isn't it? So one more turn of the plait there, perhaps. Perhaps one more. Try and incorporate these little stragglers into the plait there. And here we are. At this point we're about 1 inch in, with the loops at the top. Forget about that one. In fact, we can clip that one away like that, and find our 5th. What was the 5th element in the weave, and start making a loop around all the plait that we have got going already. Perhaps 2 or 3 turns, perhaps 4, and at this point, with a nice loop there like that, we can start doing a different weave, making a different warp and weft, as it's called. So here we go. We've got 3 strands there, and this 4th one here, and we're going to start with this 4th one going in and out like so. Again, somewhat redolent of wicker basket making or something like that, but we're making an item of jewellery, of course. And push, if at all possible, push those up to the top and start fanning out, in fact. So that what we're going to do, we've started at what we can call point 0 at this point, and we're going to start fanning outwards to about here. So there we go, like that. Push the weaves in, keep it all as tight as possible. Well, perhaps 1 or 2 more until we start to fan inwards. And at this point, perhaps one more. Don't forget it's a ring. It's not from Mordor, by the way, probably more like Morecambe. But now here we can start fanning inwards to bring us back to the other side of the so-called bridge. Here's the first half of the bridge. Here's the middle. And we're going to work our way down to the end of the bridge. So we'll start fanning inwards now at this point. And before long, we'll be at the other side of bridge and able to make the proverbial crossing. Keeping things tight, push it, because you're in control, and the aim of the game is to make as little space as possible between these weaves, both in this aspect in the middle of our ring, and indeed at the plaits at the top. So here we are at the other side of the bridge. Now here's a tricky bit. Take two of these at the other end and fold them inwards so that we're going to create another loop here at the other end, about an inch, just over an inch. Fold the loops down so that they don't start to stray, and that should be enough. Perhaps put it in just a little bit, tiny little bit, fold again, and with this here start to do a similar thing as you did at the other end, which was to loop around like so. Forget that one at the top, that's just holding the loop that we originally made, but we can start looping here. Be firm but gentle with this soft rush. It can fray a little bit if you're not too careful. Perhaps one more. There we go, one more for luck, so that we're on the underside. Now here we're going to start plaiting our way back to the other end. So separate out those two loops, and with this third one here, we can incorporate the strand that's being used to do the looping. With any luck, you can see what's going on there. Try and move my hand out of the way. So 1, 2, 3 for our plait, which of course is the number of strands needed to make a good plait. And here we go, right towards the end, and we're nearly at the other end. Perhaps one more. This loop here can go over there. Now that's a bit, that might be a bit tricky. Okay, that should be all right. Now just to lose these two strands. Now here's where the magic happens, because what we've got to do is get this through the loop at the other end. So it might be best to trim that with at a slight angle so that you get a bit of a point on the end, because we're going to go first through this loop, then through this loop. Might have to open it up a bit, just applying a bit of gentle pressure. Like so, and we're able to take our hands away somewhat because we've secured everything. But this is where the magic happens, because we take this, which of course is a strand of the bulrush, soft rush that held the original loop, and we're going to poke it back through that loop like so. Now this might need a bit of tenacity. You don't have to go through 3 loops at the same time. And occasionally one needs to reset, as it were, the pointed end. There we go. I can tell that that's the, and indeed that's happily gone through the third as well. So here we are, able to use the strand that we originally put through the loop to pull through the two loops that were at the far end. And this is where you have to be gentle but tenacious and not be put off too much. And there, as hopefully you can see, the two loops at the far end have gone through the three loops at the near end. So now what we're able to do is to use, first of all, let's be safe and give this one a trim to get a bit of a point. Use this to secure the final product, because that's what we need at the end of the day, being trying to see the light through the loop, and if necessary being a bit manipulative, for want of a better word. There we go, that's the first one through. So now we're secure. We've still got the initial soft rush strand that went through our three initial loops, but we're secure because one of our bulrush strands at the far end has gone through and enabled us to. This is the last one. It's rather thicker, so get in a nice point. Hopefully it will comply. And now if it doesn't, just pull using the initial strand that is still there in the three first loops, and trying to get the last strand that is now holding the piece secure out of the way as much as possible. I see what's happened, it's got a bit, so if I move that around there like that, there we go. Now I can see the light through there. All I've got to do is get this final, just to be doubly secure. I could leave it as it is, but just to be there, I can see it coming through, teasing through. There we go. Now we can lose the original strand that held the loop together, the three loops right at the very beginning. Lose that one, there it goes. And what we're left with are two securing strands through the two loops at the far end, and as with any luck you should be able to see our item of jewellery has taken shape. Make sure everything's tickety-boo. I'm sure you can see what I'm doing here, just pulling things through tight, a bit of reshaping, because now everything's secure. You can pull it about a bit and you've made sure that all the plaits and all the weaves are as tight as possible. And then finally trim the end, leave it a bit because it's going to shrink a little bit as it dries out. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Leave a bit at the end like that, and give it motion, put a bit of motion into it, and there you have it. Rather nice. I used to tell folks that I'd learnt this as I was working on one of the motorways, digging away. I heard a little voice behind me saying, "Oi!" And it was a leprechaun, taught me how to make one of these, and I changed careers, as you might imagine, at that very point. There it is. Voila, as they say. There's the one I made earlier, and there's the new one. And there, and there. See, all ready for the next band at the Pop Blooming Festival. Super. Ta-da now. Yeah, right, pal.